Hey crafty friends, today I'm showing you how to get more from your stencils with just a few simple tricks. And we're going to be doing it using one layout across the three cards. I'm going to use the Succulent Swirl stencil from Miss Ink Stamp along with the adorable Llama Love stamp set and the coordinating dies. And trust me, you're going to want to try these techniques. Alright, so for our first card, we have a top folding card base. A2 card base. I've got a strip of cardstock I'm going to use for a sentiment. I cut a vellum circle just in case. And we have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white cardstock as well. Our first card, we're going to go super simple with the background. We're just going to add a little bit of ink blending over top of our stencil. We're going to keep it super simple and traditional for that quick, easy card. In case you just want to do something quick and easy, this is going to be the card for you. I'm going to come in with a light ink color, and I'm going to add just some little inking on our background panel. So we're just going to ink blend our subtle little background here. And it's okay if some of it is darker than the other. That's perfectly fine. So there's our nice little background. So I'll move this. For a second, we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment onto our little strip of cardstock here. So we're going to go ahead and put our sentiment right there while we're stamping. Might as well do that now. And then that can have time to dry while we do the rest of our card. Now, I did go ahead and stamp and color all three of my llamas for today off screen because we are doing the three different techniques. So that way it'll make it a little bit quicker on our assembly. So we're going to go ahead and attach down our background here. And then we can go ahead and attach our sentiment as well. I'm just going to attach it down at that bottom corner. Let me adjust that. I need that to go all the way across. All right, we're going to take and add a little bit of dimension to our llama with just some foam squares. We'll just pop on a couple for him. Well, this super sweet and simple card is when the stencil has done all the heavy lifting for us. So we've got our little llama on there. Now you could totally embellish this now with some flat back pearls or rhinestones or whatever. I'm going to leave this super simple today, and we're going to move on to our next technique. All right, I have the same supplies as we did the last time. We are going to use our vellum this time. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment so that will have a little bit more time to dry. So I'll go ahead and stamp that in our Versa Onyx black ink. That way that can be drying while we work on the rest of our card. All right, we're going to take our card front and add onto our card base. We're going to come back to our Succulent Swirl stencil. Nice and stuck down. And I'm going to come in with that same light green ink. And we are going to ink blend our panel the same way. So we're just going to continue ink blending this panel, letting some of the areas be lighter, some of them be darker. So that we have a nice, pretty background. All right, now this time I'm going to step this up just a little bit more. I'm going to bring in a second ink color, a little bit darker, and I'm going to bring in a smaller blending tool because we're going to step things up and we're going to come into the center of each of our succulents and add a little shading to that center to give them a little bit of each one a different look. I'm just going to add some subtle ink blending on, letting it fade out as we get on the outside edge. And the ones that where I have the lighter color, I didn't go in quite as heavy with the ink so that it would not be so stark. Now, when we remove our stencil, we have a completely different look because that additional color helps everything pop out a little bit more. So we can go ahead and attach this to our card front. I'm sorry, our card base. I'm going to go ahead and add my strip, my sentiment strip here. Roughly in the same spot. Flip that over. We'll trim off anything that overhangs. And then we're going to take our vellum. And I'm going to add my little llama. I'm going to add 3 foam squares on him. I'll pop that onto our little vellum circle. And then we're going to take and add our liquid glue behind our llama on our vellum behind our circle. And then I can pop that into place. All right, we're going to add a few shiny sage baubles to our card. So we'll take and pick those up and pop those in place. So we'll just pop those on when and if Rick can ever pick them up. And to finish off our card, I'm going to add just a little bit of highlights to our little llama for our second card. And we have one more to go. All right, for card number 3, we're going to go ahead and start off by stamping our sentiment. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that one down using our VersaFine Onyx black ink for that nice bold black sentiment. This will take a little bit of time to dry. I've got my card panel in. We're going to go ahead and actually I want to take this out of that. No, we can go ahead and do the ink blending in there as we throw sequins everywhere. All right, for this first part of our card, we're going to go ahead and do our ink blending. But we're going to go at a gradient this time. We're going to start off at the bottom with our lightest color and add that on. Then we're going to switch back to our darker color, our teal shade. And I'm going to start at the top and bring this down. Let those blend together. I'm going to peel this out. And I'm going to flip it over I'm going to tape this into place because we are going to take a little bit of glimmer paste and add a little bit of ink. So we're just going to take some glittery embossing paste, and I'm going to mix that with the ink to create my own custom embossing paste color with that glittery paste. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just simply glaze over some or all of your stencil. I like to just do certain areas and let it kind of fade out. I'm going to scrape off that excess and I will throw it away. So we'll just get all that off there. And this one I went really light with the color, so it's going to be more transparent. All right, when you're dealing with paste, make sure you have all your cleaning supplies next to you so that you can quickly clean off your stencils and your palette knives so that before that paste dries. So here is the reveal of the background. I'm going to go ahead and peel that tape off. And we can smooth out any of those edges. I'm going to set that to the side, let it dry, and clean up the area before we move on. All right, now before we got started, I went ahead and I had already done one panel so that would have time to dry, so that we wouldn't have to wait forever. You can see how we have both of our colors in there. I just went, this time on the outside, went a little bit heavier on the ink blending, on the ink for the paste. We're gonna go ahead and add that to our card base. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our sentiment strip to our card as well. I'm gonna add our little strip there. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on a few foam adhesive squares. And apparently I need to pop on some on here so that our sentiment will stay on our card. That back up. Pop that down. I will add our little llama. And then we'll add a few of our little embellishments as well. So go ahead and grab a few of our little shiny sage pearls. That is a mouthful. So we'll just finish popping these on. And that will complete our third card, once we add a few highlights with our Jelly Roll pen. All right, and there we have it. 3 cards, 1 layout, and 3 fun ways to step up your stenciling game. Let me know in the comments which one you'd love to try and which stencil technique was your favorite. And if you enjoyed this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up right over there. I'll see you over there in that video. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you.